Alright, I wanted to make a video on pre-game planning. Pre-game planning, like understanding itemization, understanding the strategy for your team, what types of things you should do, understanding your specific role for your hero. This is kind of something that I sort of learned from BSJ, right? He talks about this stuff a lot. And I found a great way to practice this so that this is more of practice instead of playing. Because when you play games, you don't really get a chance to practice a lot of one specific type of thing. You have to do a whole bunch of things during the game, and it takes a long time, 30 minutes. Now, if you play a 30-minute game, you're gonna get one instance of practice of the specific, maybe two instances of practice of the specific thing I want to show you. But for 30 minutes, if we went through this process that I'm going to show you in 30 minutes, you're gonna get like 20 instances of practice. So you're gonna basically learn 10 times faster these things here. And if you think about it, these four things are really key, right, to winning. I guess the pregame it's just these three things here: itemization, the strategy for your team, and the role for your hero. If you get these three things down, like, you're gonna really understand the game. So I went here to Dota Buff, and I'm going to go to the esports section here, and I'm going to click on matches because I want to see some pro lineups. I want to see some 5-man lineups, how to during the pregame when you're looking at the heroes. You can also do this for like choosing your hero, because yeah, this is gonna really help. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the 5-man lineups, and we're going to go through this checklist called a Teamfight checklist. I'm gonna put that up here, Teamfight checklist, because this is what's gonna happen in the team fight and as a team in general. So you want to be able to visualize this, like actually visualize this in your imagination before anything happens, so that way you know what's going to happen, all the information here. That's very important. We're going to look at initiation, how the team's going to initiate. We're going to look at what's going to happen, like, for each hero, what they're going to follow up with. We're going to look at the types of damage that they do, physical or magical. We're going to look at the either single target or AoE, because that's really important. That's going to help you, should you get a Manta style if it's single target, should you get a Battle Fury if you want to do AoE damage, do you want to get a Veil if it's going to be AoE damage, so you want to think about this, and then you're also going to look at the tower hitters, who's really good at hitting towers, and then who's going to be the split pusher, and who's got lots of disables, so that way you can see, do you need diffusal blades because you don't have a lot of disables. So I'm just going to show you how to do this really quickly by going through 5-man lineups when you go to Dota Buff and you look at pro teams. So you're going to look at this team here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heroes. So who's going to initiate? This is number 1. Well, it turns out that these guys don't really have a very good initiation strategy. Maybe this guy, if he had a Shadow Blade, and he ultied in, he could kind of be the initiator. Maybe this guy could blink in Manta style and sort of be the initiator. This guy could sort of be invis and Orchid and be the initiator. This guy might be able to sort of either blink in and ulti or something, or spin in and ulti or something. That might help with initiation. But like, this guy doesn't really have any initiation. And these they kind of have somewhat of initiations, but they don't really have good initiation. So you could tell that that's a weakness in their build. Now let's look at the Teamfight Followup. What's going to happen after one of these guys sort of goes in on his own? That's basically what happened. Itemization is going to start right-clicking people. This guy's going to start raising and right-clicking people, maybe ulti. He has an AoE ulti. This guy is going to start right-clicking people. This guy's going to start right-clicking people and ulti. And then this guy's going to just basically ulti and heal people. So it seems like they have mostly physical damage for all 4 of these heroes. They're all right-click carries. Oh my God, it keeps on doing this. So they all mostly have physical damage in a single target, right? There's a little bit of AoE magic damage by these 3 heroes here. Maybe a single target here. So they basically have physical magic damage, kind of mostly in single target, and a little bit of AoE magic damage. That's what they have. And they also have 1, 2, basically 3 or 4 tower hitters, so they have really good tower hitting. They also have really good split pushing with 1, 2, 3 heroes, even 4. So they have a ton of split pushing, a ton of tower hitters, and disables. They only have 1 from Necrophos. So they're really weak on disables, they're really weak on initiation, but everything else that they have is tons of physical damage. So if I was the other team, you know, maybe I would want to buy like a Solar Crest or something, because they have a ton of single target. But of course the thing is that they're sort of they're yeah, like a Solar Crest would be pretty good, in my opinion. Maybe even just the Crimson Guard, because they have so many of them, or even Heaven's Halberd to sort of stop one of them. But there's 4 right clickers, so single target disabling might not be really that great. So you can sort of see like the type of thinking that I'm thinking if I want to get some items here, like what's going to sort of counter that stuff. Just single target right clicking. And they also are lacking disables and initiations, so they might want to itemize for that. Maybe they want to get a Shadow Blade or a Blink on this guy, or maybe that's why he got a Blink Yules, so that he could initiate. This guy got his Manta style, so he could do that. He got a Basher, they got 1, 2 Diffusal Blades, and an Orchid, and a Yules, so they itemize for the disabling problem that they had. Okay. Now that was it. That's kind of what you want to look at, and you can do this really fast during the pregame planning stage. But you obviously might take a while to get fast. The first time you go through this huge checklist, I mean, there's six things to think about, 7 things to think about, and if you do this only once at the beginning of the game, you're only going to get a little bit of practice. So you want to go through this, you know, over and over and over again. And that's why I went here to Dota Buff, so I could see the 5-man lineups, and so that I could just go to the next one. Let's just go to the next one real quick. Who's going to be the initiator? Well, Invoker has a Tornado. This guy can sort of initiate if he wants to with a Shadow Blade or something. It looks like he went AFK. Weird. I thought this was like a pro game. This guy doesn't have any items. Alright, well, let's... we can still look at it anyway. Doesn't matter too much. Maybe this guy, he like Rod of Atos or something? That might be a way to initiate. But yeah, I guess they really only have 1 good initiator. Maybe this guy had a Shadow Blade or something. Invoker, he's basically the initiator. Now the follow-up. Right clicks from Troll. Right clicks from Invoker, also AoE from Invoker, right clicks from Nature's Prophet. This guy's gonna ulti and do some spells and stuff. This guy's gonna ulti and do some spells and stuff. So there's a lot of AoE magic damage here, a lot of AoE magic damage here, so a ton of AoE magic damage here. That's probably why you got a Veil, because they have 3 AoE magic damage heroes. Or just magic damage in general, sometimes a single target. Versus that team, they also had some good magic damage, so this guy probably got that magic resistance concept thing. But anyway, so physical damage coming from 1, 2, 3 heroes, magic damage coming from 1, 2, 3 heroes, AoE and single target physical and AoE magic damage. That's probably what it's going to be most of the time, like half and half. But sometimes it's a mixture of both. Like for example, there's a lot of single target magic damage coming from Skywrath Mage and Pugna as well. They both have good single target magic damage, but they also have some AoE. Now, we look at the tower hitters. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 tower hitters, so that's really good. They have a ton of tower hitting and also a ton of split pushing. 1, 2, 3, and sort of 4. So they're really strong here. They're really strong here. But they don't have that great of initiation, but they have better than these guys. Now the disables, we kind of have like 1, kind of 2, kind of 3. They all kind of have their disables in a way, so they're not really lacking that too much. Now, for some reason, this team owned them, and it was 81 to 23. So this is really weird. This is not really a very good example that I wanted to show, because this is kind of awkward. It's like a pub stomp, you know. But it works anyway. So we just went through 2 of those, and I sort of drew this out, so now it's been like maybe 10 or 15 minutes or something. But oh wow, this was 16 minutes ago. But so yeah, maybe we should go to like teams. Maybe we should look at like EG lineups or something. That might be better than what I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to look at matches for EG, and we're going to take a look at some of these. I'm just going to do this a little bit faster, but we're going to go through tons more examples, so that way you can go through this process on your own. You're already getting some practice now with me. So let's look at this one. So how do we initiate? Void's going to blink in, this guy might blink in, this guy might blink in. So we got 3 really good initiators. Now you're seeing how a really good lineup's going to have some good initiation. 1, 2, 3. The follow-up, this guy's going to ulti, this guy's going to do his fire thing, this guy's going to right-click people, and his ulti, this guy's going to ulti, this guy's going to ulti. So they have 1, 2, like 3 or 4 basically AoE magic damage. They have right-clicks coming from this guy, but not very much else, just right-click coming from him. So it's a little bit of physical single target and a ton of magic damage AoE. So basically they're really focusing on that, getting that good initiation and getting a really good team fight going on for them. So maybe these guys want to avoid team fights if they don't have that kind of fighting. Maybe they want to try to hide as much as possible or something. Maybe they want to pick off these initiators, but the thing is, they have such good initiation, it doesn't really matter. Like, these guys are probably going to get picked off like crazy, but obviously they didn't. Anyway, tower hitters, they've got one. Yeah, they got 1 tower hitter, and he's not even itemizing for it, so they're probably gonna have to really struggle with taking towers. But they have some decent split pushing. Like, these guys can split push, this guy can split push, and he can kind of split push too, unless he itemizes for it, but he didn't. So their carry, I feel, is a fail, but yeah. Anyway, so they kind of have some decent split pushing, and they have tons of disable, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 basically. So they got a lot of disable, and they have really good team fight and really good initiation. I think the problem is that Void didn't really itemize properly. I think he should have gotten some tower hitting potential, some split pushing potential, so that he could really be the one doing things. But he just got a diffusal blade. It might be really important against this team. We'll see. Because these guys are pros, you know. I'm just a 3K player. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Like, this guy got a Rod of Atos, which, you know, I feel like they had so much disable already that was probably overkill. You know, I mean, who are they gonna Rod of Atos? Kunkka? Maybe Lone Druid, maybe Sumail, but I don't know, man. I feel like if he got like a Veil, yeah, okay, so he got a Veil. If he got like a Dagon, even, like, just to like do more damage, because these guys or no, they needed another right clicker, you know. I don't know. So you can start to see like weaknesses in drafts and like what you might want to buy with items, and like who's actually going to be the split pusher. Is it this guy? I mean, they already have 2 decent split pushers, so maybe he didn't itemize for that. But like, he should have been the tower hitter. He should have got a Desolator, you know, or even just like a Mjolnir, so that he could hit the tower faster, or a Manta style, so that he could just hit the tower more. So you want to itemize for the proper thing. He is the tower hitter, but he probably didn't realize that, so he didn't get the items to be hitting towers against, you know. That would have been his role. So you could see your specific role in your lineup depending on who's really good at doing these types of things. And you know, and then you could also choose the hero. If you feel like you're lacking in one of these, you could choose the right hero. The next thing is going to be this team, so we'll look at them. Who's going to initiate? Well, this guy could sort of zoom in a little bit. This guy's going to initiate for sure, and Kunkka could also. So they got 2 or 3 pretty damn good initiators, and the follow-up is going to be, this guy's like going to swipe everybody and stuff like that. This guy's going to run around right-clicking people. This guy's going to do his little axe thing, and maybe right-click some people with a necro or something if he's got some necro. This guy is gonna ulti, and this guy's gonna ulti and do his little torrent thing. So they have some pretty good AoE physical damage from these heroes here, as well as here. So they have tons of AoE physical damage. Like this guy's gonna like crit everyone, right? So they have tons of AoE physical damage, and they have some good magic damage as well, but not tons of it. I guess he felt like he wanted to go Veil, which is okay. I mean, I can't really say anything about that, but because these guys are pros. Anyway, so my thinking is, you know, they have tons of AoE damage, so I think they should have gotten like so a Solar Crest would have been good, right? So that they can do the armor reduction, and this guy got some armor reduction, and so that was what I was thinking. Maybe an Assault Cuirass would be really good, because they have a lot of AoE physical damage, so Assault Cuirass would be pretty good here, especially with the Necro Book and everyone attacking faster, especially the Beastmaster attacking faster. Then that would have been crazy. So I felt like AC would be really good on this team. As far as the other team goes, I mean, obviously a Solar Crest would be good here, or just armor in general, because they have mostly physical damage. Like, they have a little bit of magic damage from these three guys, but not like a ton, you know. If we look at the damage dealt, like, they did 10k damage, which is like, you know, it's alright, obviously. But this guy did 24k because he's just crazy. But anyway, tower hitters, they've got kind of 2.5 tower hitters. So they have decent tower hitting potential. Like, they don't really have to itemize too much for that because they got Bear and stuff. And Beastmaster, so they don't really have to itemize for tower hitting. He's probably going to get Necro anyway, so it's great. Split pushing, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 split pushers, so they have a lot of split push. Disabling, they have 1, pretty much 2, 3, 4-ish. So yeah, so they got decent disables. They don't really have to itemize for that. And it was really all that whole dynamic between the AoE physical damage here that could have really gotten some interesting things with AC, Solar Crest. You know, probably the reason why you got a Mjolnir is to be able to take advantage of that. Anyway, so we did that. Let's go to the next team. Let's do a few more, so that you can really just see going through this process multiple times in a row. Because look at how many games you have here. Can you do this in 30 minutes? Can you go through all these games in 30 minutes? It might take you an hour, you know, to go through all these games. But that's almost just like the length of one Dota game. And you're going to go through 20 different matches. I think this is about 20 matches, right? 1 through 20. So 20 times 2, right? Because each one of them has 2 sets of 5. So if you go through 40 examples, you go through this 40 times in the span of an hour, guess what's going to happen the next time you start a Dota game? You're going to go through this process really fast, and you're going to see everything that's going to happen, and that's going to give you a huge plan for like what you're going to be able to do for the team. And like, you can tell them these things. How often do you hear your team actually talking about like this type of stuff and the strategy and what good items might be, like who's gonna be doing what? You usually just hear flaming and stuff. So if you just kind of share your thoughts on this and see what your team has to say, then that would be pretty cool, right? So let's try one more here. I don't want to make this video too long, but we'll just try one more together. So initiation, who's gonna initiate? Maybe Marana with an arrow. Maybe this guy's gonna jump out. He's not really initiator, but it's the follow-up. So maybe this guy's will roll in, maybe this guy will blink in or something. So they have like 2 or 3 interesting ways to initiate, and then Lifestealer's obviously going to pop out. And so basically the follow-up is going to be this guy's going to ulti, this guy's going to blast everyone with their thing and right-click people. This guy's going to ulti and right-click people. This guy's going to use his ulti. This guy is going to use his ulti. So they have physical right-clicks coming in from 1, 2, sort of 3. This guy has, you know, he could do a lot of damage with his ulti. He did the most damage. They've got magic damage here, magic damage here, magic here, magic here, magic here. They have tons of AoE magic damage. So every single hero has AoE magic damage. So Veil would be really good. Maybe even against them, you might consider getting a pipe, just so like friend of mine was telling me why you would get a pipe is to stop Marana from destroying the creep wave. You pipe the creep wave and she won't be able to kill it. I don't know, but pipe would be pretty good too against all this magic damage, like only magic damage. And here's a couple of right-clicking heroes. And so that's single target physical and AoE magic damage pretty much for the whole entire team. The tower hitters, they have 1, 2 tower hitters. These two are really good tower hitters. They don't even have to itemize for it because they're so good at it just innately. And the split pushers, they have 1, 2, 3 split pushers, so they also have really good split. Well, he's not really a split pusher, so they kind of have 2. He might not want to itemize the split push because they have 2 of these guys. It seems like he's just got an armlet and that's about it. It seems like this game is really short. That's the thing about some of these games, they're really short, so you don't really see a lot of items because they're pros. Anyway, disablers, they have 1, maybe 2-ish, 3, 4, 5, tons of disables on this guy. So they have a decent amount of disables, but the reason why Mirana probably got the Fusel Blade is because of not having a lot of disables, so they want to have a way to catch people. Definitely a good item there. And then over here we have EG's team. So see, I just sort of went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, done. Next, here we have initiation from Spirit Breaker and Nyx. These two guys are great. The follow-up is going to be this guy's going to sort of like ulti someone. He's not really going to do too much in fights, but he's just kind of the initiator guy. This guy's gonna ulti, this guy's gonna do all his 3 of his abilities, are gonna go boom, 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 AoE magic damage like crazy. This guy's gonna right click people, this guy's going to maybe dag on someone, I don't know. He went a freaking Yasha, so this guy's crazy. Again, I don't know what he's thinking, but hey, he did the most amount of damage. That's pretty cool. I guess, you know what, Nyx is an agility hero, so Yasha is pretty good on him, huh? Curious. So yeah, that was a follow-up. We have right clicks coming from 1, I guess he went right click build, so 2. That's kind of weird, but yeah, they have like two right click heroes. They have a ton of AoE magic damage from 1 and 2 here, and that's pretty cool. They have tower hitters, 1, 2 tower hitters here, and split pushing we have 1, 2, maybe even 3 split pushers. And finally disables, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disables. So everyone who's got disables, they don't have to buy disables. As you can see, no one got anything in terms of disable. I don't know why he got the this thing, because they don't have a lot of right click damage. But hey, you know, it's a cheap item. Like, maybe he just got it because he wanted to do some right click damage or something. I don't know. So I felt like they mostly should have focused on just this guy getting like radiance or something, but he didn't. I guess they just like owned, so they didn't. No one got any items. But if this game was longer, the item choices would be a little bit more interesting. Alright, so anyway, I don't want to go too many games, but that's basically the process. You just want to go to Dota Buff and look at the pro lineups, you know, look at EG or something, or Team Liquid, and just kind of go through all their matches and just see the 5-man lineups that those 2 pro teams are doing, this one, and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go through the process, remember this checklist, and go through it 40 times. It's going to take you an hour to go through all these games, and then the next time you start your Dota game, go through this process, and you'll see tons of information that you never thought of before. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and